The hands are the one-point of connection with the golf club, so we need to ensure that we're holding this correctly so the ball can be struck cleanly. Now, there's a whole different variety of ways players could hold the golf club, but we're just going to talk about the front hand in this video and a great strategy, or a couple of great strategies that players can use to ensure they've got the proper front hand or left hand hold for the right hander.
Absolutely. Yes. So I think the number one biggest mistake the golfer can make is trying to grip the club when they got it in its address position this way. Would you agree with that?
Yeah,
so the problems that come with that, right? We talk about the problems and the faults with taking it there. So what I mean by that, and it might sound a little bit crazy to you guys out there, but if you are just resting the club there behind the golf ball and then you decide to take your grip, when your arms are in a flex position, that golfer is going to find themselves, majority of the time, having a real palmy grip. Would you agree?
Yeah, big time. And there is an obsession with knuckles and the logo of the glove, but for me, it's far more important to see where the golf club is actually sitting within the hand, in the fingers or in the palm, because I can have the appearance of a strong grip, so you can see a lot of knuckles, the logo of the glove up the top, but if it's in the palm, I can't have any possible wrist hinge here because the golf club is set too much like a putter where it would be going up through your forearm. So we need to grip the golf club in the fingers to facilitate this hinge. Now I've got a great way that I show players of how to do it, which pretty much ensures that they never get it wrong, which I'll show you in a minute, but talk a little bit more about maybe an ex-major winner who's got a great routine to ensure that it gets in the fingers.
Yes, Mr. Adam Scott, my man crush. Right, Mr. Scotty, right, what he does, you watch him, and it's sometimes the challenging thing that when you're actually watching on TV, you don't see what they're doing before the ball. They kind of cut straight to the chase of him hitting it, right? But what Scotty does as he's behind the golf ball, you'll see him hold the club in his left hand like this here, right? So he's a right-handed golfer in his left hand. And what he's doing is he's got his arm at complete extension this way here. Therefore, it's hanging down. So when I mean extension, it's hanging completely down. And that, therefore, he's going to have it kind of resting in his fingers. And then what he'll do is you'll see him he pushes the palm back down on top of that grip, and then he's got his top hand on, and then we walk in and then we're ready to go that way there. So yeah, you'll see majority of golfers are getting themselves ready. We see Scotty Scheffler a lot behind the golf ball, doing this a lot, right in front of him there, getting it comfortable. It's just what you see, what they're doing. So that is something to avoid for the golfer who's doing this, is just to think about how your arms are resting here and get comfy there. Would you agree?
So that's a great strategy, having the golf club set next to your foot. You can put the toe in line with your toes, easy to remember. Arm extended back and behind you, so chest is facing towards the target. You just feel like you're lightly placing the grip within the fingertips of your hand, and then push your palm down on top. Now, for me, I'm always looking for drills to give players, be it online or in person, where I know that they're not going to get it wrong. Okay, and I still see a lot of players get this wrong. They get slack after a while. They might have the golf club out in front. They're like, "Oh, I'm doing what you told me to," but the position's not directly down where it should be. And I find that really one of the biggest faults for a poor left hand grip and positioning is players putting their thumb too quickly on the golf club. Okay. Now, one of the most important pressure points in the golf swing within your hands is these fingers on the golf club. So your front hand's pressed up against the palm. Okay. So this allows you to create hinge. So a great routine that I've found, which organizes your forearm and also your palm to ensure that they are positioned correctly, is to hold the golf club out in front of you like this, so your club faces straight up and down. And all you're going to do here is you're actually going to place the fleshy part of your palm on the golf club first. You then wrap your fingers on, and the very last thing you do is put your thumb on. And with every player I've worked with, I've never seen anyone get this wrong. So it's a very simple routine. We hold it out in front. You push your palm down like you're pushing a big button, which helps you keep this inside of your elbow crease out, which is important. Putting the palm, the fleshy part, as you can see, big stop button, lightly wrap the fingers on, and the very last thing you put on is your thumb. That'll ensure you keep this cupping. It'll ensure that the grip is down in the fingers. And a little checkpoint from there is you can bang the golf club up and down. Yeah, exactly. Using it like a hammer. But if you do that again, just show me that grip like in the top hand there for me, right? Come, put the club down on the ground. The reason why we're talking about all this and the importance of it, right, is that our wrist has 3 deviations, right? It goes radial, right?
extension, right? And then we have the ulnar piece down here when we're delivering the club down with our thumbs down. Now, we can't do this when we're holding it from a palmy grip.
Correct.
So you'll find that this reason why we're really big on this and why we're talking about this is that if you're holding it in the palm there, and then I try to get you to, so if you guys are practicing at home, hold the club in your palm and try and bring the thumb up, you'll be very limited in there. You actually get a little bit of a pinching kind of pain feeling as you're doing it, and your wrist is looking for an easy way there and it can't work. The mechanics of our wrist, they work better when we've got a little bit of extension, so we call that the cupping nature here, right? And when we're looking down, that's why we want to see a couple of knuckles is the measurement that we use. We can now deviate the wrist in the manner that we want to load this up, and then we're going to unload this. You got to think, this club head, you know, in your case, is traveling at very, very fast speeds. If you haven't got a good grip of it, you ain't going to be able to control it or deliver it the way you want to do it.
Yeah, absolutely. So ensuring that we are applying or putting the palm on the golf club, then wrapping the fingers, and very much so. The last thing that you should be putting on here, guys, is the thumb. If you're wearing out your glove on your thumb, it means your pressure in your hands throughout your swing is all over the shop, and we need to refine that a little bit for you. You should not wear your golf clubs out. You should sweat them out. You certainly shouldn't wear them out, that's for sure. So palm on, lightly on the fingers, then thumb on. I want you to go through that process for me, Tobes.
Yeah.
And just talk to about the feels as you go about it. So right hand up in front, kind of hold it on the angle that you would set it at the dress.
I like that.
Open your palm like a big stop button. So take your hand completely off. Make sure that thumb stays off so you're not touching the grip.
Okay,
Wrap your fingers on.
Yeah. Oh.
Right?
Yeah.
And then, there you go. And then put your thumb on.
Yeah,
so you
I
can
like
see it very much so secures that golf club in such a position where you're really going to be forced to have that little bit of cupping at address.
It's interesting, isn't it? Because I've spent so much time with you and you see people's mannerisms, right? And I've seen Adam Scott's mannerisms, Scotty Scheffler's mannerisms. And when I think of you and I see you playing golf and, you know, when I spend so much time with you, I see you doing that a lot. Like I see you getting yourself prepared there a lot. And there's a very, very good reason why Scotty Scheffler has a molded grip on a spare club that he hits every day before he plays golf. This is a guy. He's a world beater, right?
Yeah.
I like that drill. It's fantastic, right? I like it there. Getting that all organized. Great.
Perfect. Okay, let's go in and hit one. Beautiful. So if you're struggling with your power and consistency, the ball's not starting or going where you want, use one of these little grip routines that'll ensure that your one point of connection with the golf club is going to help you hit better shots.
Thanks for watching this video. YouTube thinks that you would benefit from watching this one next. So click that card and it could be the tip that you need to take your game to the next level. I'll see you next time.